Meet farmer Jaspin Hibajini. He owns 40 cattle in the Monzi district of Zambia. And here's Herminia Minya, tending her crops on Santiago, the largest of 10 islands that make up Cape Verde. Out on Lake Volta in Ghana, Robert Verduga is checking the nets on his fish farm. 3 people in 3 kinds of agriculture in 3 countries, yet with a remarkably similar story to tell.
We went to the veterinary assistant, and when we talked to him, that time I want to sell my animals. He gives me a permit.
The wall has really helped, because it's allowed me to plant the produce over and under the rocks.
The resources in the water had completely diminished, so it's been a great help. We were taught how to look after the nets, and the women are involved in processing the fish.
All 3 say they are now better off than before. All 3 have acquired new skills or work practices. And all 3 say they feel confident about their future. And they are not alone. Livestock farmers in Zambia and 4 neighboring southern African nations can now look forward to the better health of their herds. On Cape Verde, off the coast of West Africa, improved irrigation has made life richer and more productive for hundreds of farmers, many of them women. And in Ghana, more than 54,000 people have found jobs in the country's rural districts, as the government tries to improve the lives of millions of its citizens. Life for the farming or rural communities in all these countries has always been challenging. The environment, traditional yet wasteful farming practices, a lack of education and a lack of investment has often held back the tremendous potential of Africa's rural districts. Now, in many cases, that potential is being unlocked. Take Agnes Acheampang in Ghana's southern Afram Plains. She is not a farmer, but works with the agricultural sector, and in particular, palm oil producers. Palm oil soap is her business, and detergents, and washing up liquids, and the list goes on.
I'm now sponsoring 2 of my grandchildren at the Presbyterian University with the profits of my soap business. This year I want to expand. I have the land and I want to make it into a factory business.
Hers is just one of 24,000 profitable companies in rural Ghana that have been created in recent years with the help of a wide-ranging international program, largely managed by the African Development Bank. Training centers have been financed to help budding entrepreneurs like Agnes learn not just about how to manufacture what they are selling, but also good business management. And this is one of the keys of success.
For the purchase of animals and the development of irrigated plots of land, a line of credit was made available at a rate of 5%, which was far more accessible than the commercial bank rate, which was 12%.
Being trained in useful farming practices, as here on Cape Verde, is all well and good, but it's not always enough. Success can depend on short-term financing and knowing how to deal long-term with local financial institutions.
Has helped me in training, mushroom training. They have also helped in management training. They have given me record keeping. They have linked me to other banks for financial assistance.
Technical know-how, financial support, and job skills go hand in hand. Prevention is, as the saying goes, better than the cure. And this is certainly true of animal health, where thousands of cattle can die and thousands of livelihoods be ruined for want of efficient detection and control systems. Now these are considerably closer to being set in place, and as diseases know no borders, it has to be a multinational effort. A 20 million program supported by the African Development Bank in 5 southern African nations highlights this synergy. Simon Hill-Windy, like generations of livestock farmers before him, tends his herds in the rolling hills of Zambia's southern province. 10 years ago, foot and mouth disease ravaged his herds.
By that time, I have 70 animals. And out of 70, 30 were dead. By that time, I had lost a lot of money. I had lost 750,000 to control the problems, the diseases.
The equivalent of several $100s, an amount farmers like Simon can barely afford. Today, veterinary assistant Lilian Makosa is checking the health of Simon's animals using new digital pen technology that, when paired to a cell phone, can provide real-time information.
The reporting system has become very efficient now. Sometimes, if there is an emergency, I might not meet my boss there and then to report the issue. But with this one, wherever he is, he'll get the report.
In Lusaka's Central Veterinary Research Institute's laboratories, work is underway into analyzing results of field tests on animals. And vaccines are being developed using newly installed hardware and software. The program has seen incidents of foot and mouth disease fall dramatically as thousands of cattle are inoculated against the disease. The Lopez women are united by more than just family bonds. They are members of a farming cooperative almost entirely made up of women. Life in the rugged, mountainous terrain of Cape Verde has started to get better for such women.
Before there was this dam, we didn't have much to work on. But the dam and the land that's now been irrigated means we can now work the fields and grow produce. Thank God. Now I just have to open the tap, and there's water.
For centuries, the windswept Atlantic islands were barely arable. The monsoon's plentiful rainwaters would just wash away as no effective system was in place to retain it for the dry season. But now, due in large measure to a multi-million-dollar project, a solution has been found. Dams and reservoirs have been constructed on the main island of Santiago. Land that was previously unproductive or had been eroded by poor farming practices has found new life through a series of raised earthworks and stone walls. 90 square kilometers of new arable land has been created, and new market crops introduced, and training programs established. Here again, the Lopez family has benefited.
It's thanks to the training we received as part of the project that we learnt how to farm and work more efficiently. If we'd received that sort of training before, we'd have had a better life, because we used to work hard but got little in return.
And return on investment has been positive. Official figures show average income in the project areas has risen by 50% to the equivalent of $1,900 a year. In Donkokrom in Ghana, farming of another kind. Prince Asamoah Boateng and his father's backyard business is rabbits and grass cutters, a large rodent whose meat is considered a delicacy. Prince attended the project's local training center when he was just 20 years old, back in 2005. What the training also taught, beyond marketing and farming, was turning the trainees into trainers.
I was recently selected as the best grass cutter and rabbit farmer in the district. I've become popular. People come to learn about grass cutter farming.
Further down the food chain, cassava is a staple on many African plates. The root vegetable is also at the heart of Nana Ansah's Akua's cassava processing group. Here, the trickle-down impact of the assistance program is clearly illustrated. Nana's new processing machines have allowed her to up production, as well as taking on new staff. In fact, her machines were made just a few kilometers away at Samuel Gaikpa's tool shop. And Samuel refined his technical and management skills at a technical facility, supported by the African Development Bank. His agro-processing machines sell for between $1,000 and $1,700 each, depending on size and type.
I started small, and now I have opened a big shop, but I still want to expand. It's too congested. I need to buy land and relocate.
From Zambia's cattle processing plants, where good quality and safe beef can now be exported, to Ghana's lakes, once fished out but now producing thousands of fish, to Cape Verde's new pastures, where rural emigration has been reduced. 3 ongoing programs that have benefited will continue to benefit those who need help the most, and who are taught not just how to help themselves, but how to help others too. These projects are not charities. Often money is loaned and has to be repaid, albeit at favorable rates. But they are an example of the sort of foundations needed to build and expand Africa's future agricultural and rural development.